Okay. Hello again. This is Diary 4, Devlog 4. I'm gonna change the name of it in the title. Not getting enough engagement. Um, I'm not worried about that. I am worried about that. I'm lying. It's been a nice weekend. Again, rainy. Nice Brisbane rain. So, got some cool stuff done on Friday, which I'm gonna show. So, the last Friday I was talking about how I was gonna need to implement dead zones, or sorry, the timer in the game, and I think I figured out a nice way to do that. So, well, I figured out like a cool way to do this. This kind of came from some suggestions from a friend, which I think I also mentioned last time. But I've now implemented like these kind of. I put in like the Fortnite ring thing, but I can have like multiple of them. And as they shrink in, and you can see here, the like available zones in the world shrink, right? So there's two parts of this, which I'm really excited for. And I can go over how this was implemented. It was pretty easy. Just like some cool shader stuff. But so I'll actually just get some assets in the world. The map gen now actually spawns this stuff. So if we look at the map, so this is a little hard to see, but the map is generating. And bloody I shouldn't be disappointed whenever the game's music plays. I gotta change the track. But so this is the map, right? And now I'll have to do this manually. Hopefully this doesn't kill things. Let's see. I'll just move you out there. It does. That's annoying. Okay. We'll have to do this outside of the game. This is still kind of like a work in progress. But these zones, right? It's really cool because if you're like walking around and you're like looking at these, well, let's turn my character upside down and invert all my controls to really fuck myself over. So the idea is that you're gonna have a kind of like this view, right? And you get to see these rings kind of like shrinking in. Actually, it's gonna be about, I think this might be the view. You're gonna see these rings shrinking in. And as you do, you're gonna... it's just gonna be a wall, effectively. It's just gonna push the character like away. But you'll be able to see the inside of the torus, which is pretty neat. Let me just do that again. So, yeah, you can see the inside of the torus, which is pretty cool. And my idea is that when it actually like closes in, and you've chosen an arena to fight in, right? So the idea is that each of these like arenas are only going to spawn inside of one particular zone. So like every zone is going to have its own like boss fights, right? So there's going to be, imagine there's like a blue boss fight, and you see, oh, the zone is going to shrink onto the blue zone. So I want to go there at the end of the day to fight that boss. Or, there's the orange one, or whatever. And this is nice because it solves issues with, like, kind of... Well, it solves some of the issues with the map getting cut off. Like, if you know from minute 1 what the bosses are going to be, then you have some more choice, which is cool. And, like, your pathing around the map gives you some more options. So, I'm very excited about that. And when the actual boss fight is done, and you beat this, my idea is to have you fight spend like a run on the inside of the torus, yeah? And then after that, you'll do another fight, but like kind of, I don't know where the final fight is gonna be. And maybe I'm ripping too much from Night Rain. But I think it's a good place to start, right? Get something done, and get a bit more creative afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna work on this a little bit more. I also fixed some of the bugs that were present in the last video with the with that projectile that I had, the band thing that wraps around the whole Taurus. Stop saying So the problem with that thing was I just messed up all of the like the I made some changes to the actual timing for how those things are triggered and like when. I just screwed all that up. Like last second, you know, it's classic. Not very important. What else? Yeah, so in terms of what I'm doing today is I need to actually make I think I want to try and actually get the whole transition done where like the ring closes you start the day, you see icons on the map saying where the rings are going to be closing to, the rings start closing, find some sort of like way to implement like little fast travel nodes so that you can grab onto them and then choose to go to other places or like I mean we'll have a nice animation or something. Make it fun. Something needs to be geometrical in some way, the fast travel. But we want to do that. We want to have bosses be able to spawn when the rings have reached their size, and then be able to defeat that boss, and then start the transition to the inner ring. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Short and sweet. Bye-bye.